Hi. I'm waiting for Julia, my friend. So, yeah. This is my very first guest. We'll see how this goes. If it's a flop, whatever. You get me? You guys like my karaoke mic, okay? Let's see. There she is.
Here, take his hat off because you can't see my face in the darkness.
Hey. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. My crazy ass family. Hold on, there we go.
You are so busy.
You know what? And I don't try to be. Well, you know what? It just how it happened. It just all happened towards like later in the day because Eli came back like around 5. And so Andrea wanted, let's see. Well, originally she was supposed to get her meds, and then Eli hadn't woken up. Then she wanted to be there when he woke up. So I was like, pharmacy closes at 6. I ordered stuff from Target.
Wow.
Well, because I didn't want to. So I have not set foot in Target. I think the week the shutdown happened, I went before they started having the lineup outside.
Oh.
So I was like, oh no.
Everybody's doing that now. Crazy.
Yeah. So I was just glad I was able to do it. But the thing is, you can't get anything that's perishable. So like milk and stuff like that. Well, I couldn't.
Why?
I don't know. It just said I had to go in the store to get it.
No way.
I was like, I'll forget that. So we went to 2 stores.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's all right. There's worse things in life.
That's true. Well, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you doing this. There's already some people lined up that you know doing this. At first, they were like, "Oh, we don't want to do it. What are we supposed to say?" I'm like, "We're just gonna talk about like in the group, but it's more one-on-one."
Yeah.
I've been planning to do this, my friend, even before I move here in LA. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah. It's just I'm so excited. It's my first one, my friend.
No, that's awesome.
I appreciate you doing this, my friend. You know that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So I don't want to take so much of your time because I know you're busy.
Oh yeah, but you know what? You're part of my busy.
Oh, thank you. That's appreciated.
Yeah. You're part of my busy.
But yeah. So thank you.
You're
Speaking
welcome. So,
of,
should I change like my background or anything?
You can be in the bathroom if you want. I don't care, my friend.
All right.
It's fine. You have a better background than I do. Mine is like a dirty ass curtains. Look at that.
It doesn't look dirty.
Girl, it's just the lighting, but it's dirty. Yeah. Is that your bedroom? You have a nice bedroom.
You know, I feel very fortunate. We got this headboard from Jerome's. And then it turns out, it's funny because sometimes I'll do the Mindful Monday in here. And I have a coworker, she's like, you have the same bed as me. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, that's awesome. So anyways, let me introduce you. As I know, here's my friend, Julie. We met at the center, I believe.
Yep.
We just started getting close, I believe, just going to the Pride together, party up in the Pride. When I was back in San Diego, as people know, I moved to LA. I abandoned them. I'm so sorry. But yeah, since then we just click, even though we don't talk to each other every day. I just feel like you're one in my circle, small circle. But yeah. So yeah.
You're my circle.
Yeah, because I don't get to talk to you guys every day. You guys know that. It's just I'm so grateful for some people who appreciate that, even though we don't communicate every day, but when we see each other, it feels like I just saw you guys yesterday. But please, if you don't mind, my friend, just introduce yourself. Just a little, funny stories or whatever you want to, however you want to introduce yourself.
Oh, wow.
Take your time.
So many
We're not
directions.
timed.
There's so many directions to this. Could you give me like a focus area? Let's see. Yeah.
First off, maybe I could ask you, what do you do for a living, my friend?
All right. So, well, actually, it's kind of funny. Is just my name in general because
Shut up.
I am Julie. My family knows me as Julie. There's some people in the world that know me as Julia. And one way I know that people aren't sure they know my name for sure is that they look at the Facebook page and say, "Oh, hi, Julia." And I know I introduced myself as Julie. So, but no, Julie Childs. My maiden name before I got married was Gross. Gross.
Is that right?
Yes. So I got teased all the time. All the time I got teased growing up. Ew, Julie's gross. So I couldn't wait to get married.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, I'm going to get married. I'm going to get rid of this name. And I married somebody whose last name is Childs. So then there's Julia Childs. So the big joke was, ooh, you're going to hyphenate it? You're going to be Julie Gross Childs?
Oh, wow.
Like, no. So like I called to change my name and they'd be, the person online would like be giggling. Oh, do you cook? Oh, do you cook? Like Julia Child, the chef. I'm like, haha, very funny, very original. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's where Childs came from. And then when we got divorced, I kept the name because I did not want to go back to Gross. I was just traumatized, I think.
Yeah.
So I remember my dad saying, it's like, so are you going to go back to Gross? I'm like, Dad, I'm sorry. I worked really hard to get rid of that name.
Yeah.
And that's what my brothers are for. So they can carry it out. So then I met my second ex-husband, the second husband. His last name was Andrews. So then I became Julie Andrews, you know, like the hills are alive.
Wow.
And I was like, really? So you asked my career. I'm in early childhood. So I work 0 to 5 range. Work with teachers now, though. I started off as a preschool teacher with 2-year-olds. Imagine having 12 2-year-olds by yourself.
Wow. I didn't know that. The heck?
Yep.
Wow.
Started off 12. Originally, I wanted to be an elementary school teacher, and I started taking classes, and I just wasn't, my heart wasn't in it. And somebody had asked me, like, what would make you feel good? I think it was a therapist, actually. She's like, what would make you feel good? And I was like, you know, I love working with kids. And so I'm like dating myself here because I went into classified ads in actual newspaper, looking around for jobs working in childcare, and found out I needed to go to school. And so I kind of started it off. I went to Grossmont College, and that's one of the best child development programs here in San Diego. They rock. They're rock stars over there. Yeah. Wow. I still have connections there and still connected, but that's where I started off and became a 2-year-old teacher and realized I need to go to more school. And that was, let's see, it's 19. So that was 26 years ago.
Stop it. Wow.
Yep. I've been in the field for 26 years. I started off as a preschool teacher, worked in family child care, and I've always like wanted to, I'm one of those people who always wants to learn. So I'm like always learning more and more and just growing. And so I ended up working at this family child care, and she and I are still really good friends. She actually ended up taking care of my son, Sean, when I had him. Oh. Yeah. But it was crazy because she kept paying me more because she didn't want me to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I understood, but I wanted to know more. So I actually worked at UCSD at their child development center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I worked there before I had Sean. So there I worked with the toddlers, and I worked with the 2s, and then I worked with 4-year-olds as an associate teacher. And I really wanted my own classroom, but nobody leaves there because they have an excellent retirement plan.
Oh, really?
So yeah, and I ended up leaving and getting a job at one of the chain for-profit preschools and I actually got my own classroom in an infant room. That was
wow.
I had my babies that were 6 weeks to walking. Yes, they were my favorite. Oh, I loved my babies. Oh, it was like, so always a challenge when somebody's like, oh, she never falls asleep. I'm like, I'm getting that baby to go to sleep. Or, they're so magical. There's so much that everything they're looking at is new to them, and they're growing. Right. And so I was lucky, though. The program I was working at was also paired with nursing. So they had some children that had that were medically fragile. And so, yeah. And so I started learning a little bit more about respite care and different things that go on with little kids that I didn't realize that happened. And as far as caring with disabilities. So that was really, I would take some of the respite shifts and like work overnight and
look at you.
Yeah. You know, I haven't even thought about that for such a long time, but yeah. So I'm all the way there. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, and that it's crazy because you say I was such a workaholic too. It's just because I loved it. It's like, you know, well, there's work and people are like, oh yeah, you have to have a balance between work but like, okay,
thank you.
Do that when you love what you do? How do you do that when you love what you do? And yeah, I still have some of this. I would stay up all night working and making little things for my classroom and doing all this stuff. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So now, I mean, after being directors and all this other stuff, I'm an education coordinator for a Head Start program, also has state funds. And, you know, I love it because I love working with teachers too. So now I get to go in the classroom. Well, right now it's kind of a bummer because I can't go in the classroom, but get to help teachers be better teachers and help parents be better parents. And I love working with those coaches that are coaching the teachers and helping them hone their craft. And, you know, I just love all of the dimensions of the field. And I'm so blessed to be able to kind of have little pieces and parts all over the place. So I love it. I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. If I can ask you, my friend, wow, I've never heard of those stories before. That. Thanks for sharing. But if I can ask you, my friend, have you seen any drastic changes from the way of teaching in the past compared to today's generations?
You know, there is and there isn't. It's, you know, I think just like in nursing and other fields where it's a helping profession, but there's some basic tenets that always kind of ring true. But then there's you've got the folks that are like the old school, like the old school teachers, and then you've got the new school teachers. I think there's so many different philosophies of how to approach people and how to approach learning that I think nowadays, and just from my experiences, is that there's these limitations and not as being open to hear and see other philosophies and like the benefits of them. And only, you know, I think only because you've got, so early childhood is unique in the fact that not preschools are not mandatory. You know, actually kindergarten isn't even mandatory. You don't go to kindergarten though, you're SOL. Yeah, kindergarten's not mandatory here in California.
You fucking SOL. You know what's weird, my friend? Can I just explain that? And again, from the peeps back home, correct me if I'm wrong, if this is the same. I did not go to preschool. I started as kindergarten. It's so different in the Philippines. Again, Filipinos, please correct me if I'm wrong. I started as kindergarten and then grade 1 to 6, and then 4 years of high school, and then college right away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No middle school?
No middle. There's no such thing as middle school. That's why when I move here, I'm like, what the fuck is middle school?
It's torture. Girl. That's a good thing.
For us? You think?
No, you don't want middle school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So kindergarten. I think there's preschool now in the Philippines, but no, yeah.
Yes.
Back in we're talking about the 80s, I started kindergarten.
I didn't go to preschool. My brother, although my younger brother went to Head Start, I remember, and the irony of me working in Head Start, there's a great pride for people who work in Head Start and actually went to Head Start as children. And so I always feel a little left out. I was like, well, I'm a Head Start sibling. I remember going to pick my brother up and helping set the table for snack time.
So, oh wow! So Head Start, what's the ages under the Head Start
program? They're 0 to 5. So
Jesus Christ, 0 to 5?
Yes, and we actually serve. We have services to pregnant women. So we actually serve. Starting from the womb, because I mean, you really think about and I remember this when I was pregnant with my son, I was fortunate to know stuff about child development, but there's so many other things you don't know. And I I take that for granted. And I meet different people, and he's like, some people think you just go to the hospital and pop out a baby.
Right.
But okay, hold on one second. The dog just opened the door, walked in, and walked out.
The dog wants to say something about that.
Like, really? All righty. Well, I guess that wasn't very interesting to him. Shoot. Yeah. So it's early Head Start, which is the 0 to 3-year-olds. And then the 3 to 5-year-olds is the preschool age, is Head Start. So it's all one big umbrella, big happy family. But you start off with the idea is that you help this mom. We even have our educators, our home visitors have gotten certifications for infant massage, all these different things that they teach moms. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. And then there's the early Head Start program.
I'm so amazed.
Yeah, it really is. And I was lucky when I had Sean, his dad was in the military and he was on Westpac. He was a Navy. So sometimes if needed, and they'll even visit them at the hospital after they've had their baby. And the idea is that once they've had their baby, we try to get them into the early Head Start program, either home-based where they stay at home and a home visitor teacher comes to the house every week, or going into one of the centers. And then going from early Head Start, moving into our Head Start program, either at home or in our centers, and going on to kindergarten. Oh, you're back. Oh, hey, Eli.
Wow.
Will you shut the door for me, please, Papas?
Oh.
Who opened it? Jello, the Eli. Dog opened it. The dog opened. Oh, he said, Eli, do you want to say hi to Sky? Oh, he said, oh.
Yeah, say hi to the camera, Eli.
Come on, buddy.
If he remembers me.
Piece, do you remember Sky? Remember she was dancing with the crazy? Do you remember she had her glowing costume on when we went to the bonfire?
Yes.
Yeah, that was me. Hi, Eli.
Hi, Sky.
Oh, cute. Oh, my God. How are you, buddy?
What are you doing?
I'm building the track in the living room.
Oh, you're building the racing track in the living room?
Yes.
All right. Well,
That's
get to
awesome.
business.
Get your business.
When you're done talking, we'll be ready for you to see how we made it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Say bye.
Bye.
Okay,
bye.
Shut the door, please. Thank you. Oh. What? Did you forget something?
Oh, I did.
No.
So
cute. That is so cute.
Thank you, buddy. So he's like, who opened it? Okay, what do you need to tell me, sweetie?
Did anybody come to what? Why did Jello come in here?
Why did Jello come in here? Don't know. I think he wanted to see what was going on.
Oh, so yeah. All the time when he comes in here, you let him.
Yeah, usually.
And then call me to close the door.
Okay, so if he comes in again and opens the door, I need to call you. So you'll shut it for me? Okay, thank you, dude.
How sweet. That is so sweet.
Funny.
How old is he now?
He's 4.
Wow.
He's 4, yeah. And he's getting, just these conversations, and like he's making so much sense out of things. And then sometimes you forget that he's 4, and then he says something, you're like, oh yeah, he's 4.
Oh, that is so cute.
So yeah, my buddy.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
Wow.
Where were we?
We're just talking about the Head Start program.
Oh yeah. So the other piece about it is that it's not just about education. It's the whole family, first of all, and it connects the social services and health also. So I'm an education coordinator. We have a health coordinator, a nutrition coordinator, mental health coordinator.
Yay.
Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. What else? Oh, family and community partnerships. So there's all of these different dimensions. So it's really wrapping everything right. Because, if you can't find a home and you're struggling, and you're not able to meet basic needs, when a child comes to school, they're not learning, you know. It's harder. Some of them are, but it's harder for them to learn more. But, you know, we help that family get to meet their goals and figure out what they need to do.
Wow, that sounds pretty. Is that stressful for you, my friend, if you don't mind me asking?
Not really. I think because, you know, it's, let me think about that. Let me take that back. It can be, but only when there's, some things can get fragmented because you pick so many different things apart. There's an overlap that happens. So before I came into Head Start, there weren't all these different people. You just did it all. So there wasn't a mental health coordinator. So I would, let's say, working on lessons on social emotional development and helping kids manage their emotions and those kinds of things, I would do anyway. But then when you add in, if you have, oh, that's a mental health issue. Like, well, it is, but it's also just basic general education. So it gets challenging when you're trying to figure out, okay, does this need to be elevated to a mental health specialist, or is this something like an educator can handle? And you have, so it's kind of a beautiful thing, but also a challenging thing where you have some people, they have one view. It's like, okay, well, this is how it can be approached. Oh, wait, this is how it can be approached. Oh, wait, it's just kind of like when you go to an orthopedic surgeon and they're just orthopedic surgeon. And then you have somebody that has a specialty that's like, oh, why don't you do it this way? And they're like, but we already cover all that. So what are you doing here? You know?
Wow.
So I think that's a challenge, but at the same time, it's a beautiful thing, because then you get to kind of see through other people's lenses and try to figure out, okay, how do we do this together and support everybody? And I think we do a pretty good job. Head Start does a pretty good job.
That's awesome. Yeah. You're probably one of the people that I know, my friend. Do you get stressed out? I'd never see you get stressed.
You know, yes, I do.
You're doing a pretty good job hiding your stress, my friend.
Well, you know what? It's not, there was a point in time that I felt like I needed to hide it. And now it's more of, I don't hide it too much. I really want to make sure that I'm not putting my energy out to anybody else, making them take it on. Like,
amen,
okay.
Sister.
You know, I was like, okay, I'm really ticked off. And you know, what was it? Oh my God, the other day, I almost threw a knife at the TV.
What were you watching?
It was during the week, the daily message from the damn president. And I had to tell you, because it was totally unconscious. So I kind of, you know, the dog opened the door again, by the way. That's all right. The door.
I'm telling you, your dog wants to say something.
No, he just laid here now. That's usually, he'll just lay there. He just follows me around the house.
That's so cute.
He is cute. So yeah, you know, and this is where, see, sometimes I feel stressed, like I'll feel like really anxious. And I've gotten to a point where I've learned that sometimes it's not my anxiety, it's other people's, and other people's anger. It's not my own.
No way you absorb their energy. No way, my friend.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that happened to me probably until, let's see, because my older brother does energy work. And I always laughed at him when I was younger. I was like, I thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
So then I started doing his yoga with him. And, you know, I have a lot of respect for my older brother. And so it's like part of this not thinking about, like, I had a federal review. No, it was a state review. And I've always been one like, okay, they come. If it's done, it's done. If it's not done, it's not done. And we can't do anything about it. So I'm not going to get stressed out about it. Well, I remember my boss at the time thought that I wasn't taking the review seriously because I was not all like everybody else.
Right.
So what started happening then, that now, like in the past few years, probably the past 5 years, I'd say I've gotten a little bit more in tune, a little bit longer. But I realized that, like, during the review, I was walking around like this.
No
and
way.
I was like exhausted, and I was like, why am I so freaking irritated? What is wrong? And I'm like, at the time, I didn't realize what was happening. I'm like, okay, it must be the review. And I didn't realize it. And so later on, I started realizing, like, you know, this isn't my anxiety. This is everybody else's anxiety that I have just kind of absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've had to learn, a friend of mine's like, all these different things to help kind of protect your energy. And the reality is you're still a human being. And I don't go walking around thinking, okay, I need to protect my energy. I go into this space. But they say, you know, there's people that they call energy vampires. You know, those people that you're around them and you just feel tired.
Girl, don't even. We've all been there in that energy circle, whatever you call it. Yes.
Yeah. It's just like, you don't, and you're like, why am I so tired?
Yeah.
And you don't realize that they are energy vampire and they are sucking all the positivity out of you.
They're energy vampires. I can't. I never heard that term, but I'm going to use that now.
No, is it? Oh, you know what that made me think of? Drake's song, Energy. He's like, all these enemies trying to drain me of my energy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And they don't realize, a lot of times people don't realize
speaking of that, my friend, I know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm such a sucker for doggy or cats, whatever pets. Hi. Oh my God. I want a puppy. I can't go to like the animal shelter, one of those places. I'll end up adopting all those animals. I swear. I'm such a we grew up. When we were kids, my mom, when she was alive, oh my God, anything, me and my oldest brother, any pets that, you know, in the Philippines, there's a lot of stray pets.
Yeah.
Every single animal that we see in the streets, we'll take them home. Oh God, my mom was not having it. Even a bird, you know, even a bird that had like a broken wing, girl, I'm not even playing. Yeah. We were such a sucker for pets. Yeah.
Oh, so would you hide them or what would you do?
We will hide it, but the damn bird is so loud. So my mom's like, what the hell was that? You know, in Tagalog, all cursing and shit. But yeah, well, she was an animal lover too. But there was a point that, you know, we couldn't take her all of them. We don't have the room. So
hello, yeah. And then they want to eat. That's what Sean was little. He used to always like, Mom, I want a pet. And I was like, look, I can barely feed you. I am not going to be getting an animal. Something else I can't feed.
Especially here, girl. Yeah. Please.
Oh no, I was like that when I was little. When I was younger, my mom, when we lived with my mom, I was probably in I'd say first grade. We moved up to the mountains near Sacramento. Because actually we lived on a pot farm. It was actually a Christmas tree farm, but it hit all the. It did. Yep. What? Well, she had MS. It was for medicinal purposes.
Oh, okay. I see. That makes sense.
But my brother and I'd come home from school and we'd have a new dog. No, one day it wasn't funny though, because one day we got dropped off by the school bus. And why was there a Doberman Pinscher at the top of the stairs? It's like, what?
That's awesome.
We're like yelling, Mom. She's like, oh, that's just Tasha. She is so sweet. And she actually did end up being like the sweetest dog ever. But really?
Yeah.
I come home with a Doberman Pinscher at the top of the stairs? What the hell?
That's awesome. Oh my God. But what, yeah. No, speaking of we were kids, what were you really into when you were a kid, except for pets?
Yeah. So let's see. When I was younger, I think it was like Barbies, like a lot of little girls. But you know what? This is like the signs, like, okay, there is definitely something else going on with me, because I would like want to whoop anybody. It's like, you know what? I wasn't like trying to start fights, but it was mostly like with my brother. It's like, okay, well, I had this thing, and this kind of when I was like, I was more comfortable hanging out with my brother and his friends when we were younger. I had some of my friends, like my soccer friends or like my little girlfriends, we'd play Barbies and dolls and that kind of stuff. But I loved to climb trees. Like when we lived I was a little hillbilly child. I always
No
say, because
way.
I'm biracial, I always say that was the white side of me, little Billy baby.
You are so funny.
That was like in the tree. Or one time my mom I would run around with no shirt on, no shoes.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's like, we're going to the store. And she'd have to pin me down to get a shirt on me.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Speaking
well,
of...
I was going to say that,
go ahead.
part of the problem, though, is like, if somebody said I couldn't do it because I was a girl, and that's when there was a problem.
Oh.
That's why I was always like, oh, no. You don't tell me I can't do it because I'm a girl. You tell me I can't do it because I can't do it, not because I'm a girl. And so that would, even now, I kind of get like, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, no.
I get that. But speaking of Barbies, like
Yes.
fun fact, have I ever, because when we were in the group, I never really talk, because you guys know I'm very private, but now I'm gonna go all out. Speaking of Barbies, my friend, believe it or not, I was into that too.
Were you?
Oh, girl, I would cry to my mom if she doesn't buy me new clothes for my Barbies, okay?
Oh, so did you have like the Barbie and Ken and like Malibu Barbie, or what were your...
We couldn't afford that shit.
Yeah. Well, did you have... Okay, so I'll never forget. So like we'd get these in the Easter baskets, is like the knockoff Barbies that their legs would always fall off.
Yes, those are the Barbies that I have.
And then like if you were trying to put them in the shower, in the bath, that they fill up with water. Yep. Or like the hair was all sewn from the top.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you cut their hair, it turned into a mohawk instead of just having it.
Yep. Oh my god.
Oh, I had those too. I didn't have Malibu Barbies.
Yeah.
I had like 2 or 3. I had like
I know.
And a couple Barbies, and then I had a lot of the ones whose legs would just pop off.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Barbies that I have were fakes too. They weren't even the original Barbies. They're so expensive, girl. So expensive back home.
But, I remember I told my stepmom, my Barbie, I had this Barbie that had, they've got their little dress-up clothes. And this one, it was like her business suit, and she had a skirt. And I was like, I told my stepmom, I wish I had clothes like Barbie. And she's like, that skirt's a little short for you.
Oh my god.
I didn't think about it. But then okay, so didn't think about it then, but now that we're talking, so I had a Barbie bed, a bed for the Barbies that had satin sheets.
Stop it right now. That's some kind of bougie Barbie you have.
But then, wait a minute, why would a Barbie want satin sheets? And I was like, she was a total slut. I apologize to anybody.
Yeah, right.
I apologize to anybody right now who has satin sheets, because I'm not trying to call them a slut, but that just doesn't seem okay.
I'm fucking dead.
Not trying to be, Yeah.
Please excuse to everybody out there using satins. We still love you guys.
Yeah. It's just that Barbie and her satin sheets.
Yeah. Whatever sheets that you use, you do you, okay? Whatever's comfy. Girl, go for it.
Exactly.
Go for it.
But, the other thing is, think about this too, is that Barbie, her bed fit both Barbie and Ken. And would fit another doll in there too. Why was her bed so big?
Wow, she got like a super California bed, a super California satin bed.
Yes.
Wow, your Barbie was living it. Wow.
I think that was but as a kid, I had friends who had so many more things, and of course that was more cool. I had a friend who had all of her mom's old Barbie stuff with all these old cool clothes that, of course, I had just the newer simple clothes, but
right.
What a brat.
Yeah, my god. Do they still exist, right? The Barbie?
Oh yeah, and then actually they kind of have tried to branch out because of all the criticism, I think, because there's some her body type were just so unrealistic, and so they have astrologist. I know they have Dr. Barbies. They have all kinds of and then different ethnicities, and they had to. Hey, you know what? We are a capitalist country. You got a cap. I think I saw that a Black History Month, a Black History Month Barbie that had. And there's Rosa Parks, or I have to look. I'm not making it up.
Wow.
I don't know for sure about Rosa Parks though. I had to
I'm
look
gonna
that
look.
one up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up at Amazon. Watch, I'll have it next week.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it's.
I know, and they started producing those Bratz too. Have you seen
Oh
those
my
dolls?
gosh, I remember that.
Girl, yeah, I'm like biggest competition. I'm like, watch out.
You know what? I think I was getting like out of that when those came up. So I don't think I ever had a Bratz doll. I think it was more because I was like, oh, they're not really. It's not really a Barbie. That's just.
But yeah, I know. I remember though Barbies and Legos for sure. Me and
Oh
my brother will.
yes.
Yeah.
I had Legos. The Legos I got, it was before they had like the pink girly ones, which barf.
Yeah. We were obsessed with those.
I had my brother, his first set was like, I think it was like outer space. And mine.
Oh, us too. Stop it.
Oh, really? Like
yes. Oh my God. One of the first ones. Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my God. I'm gonna ask my kuya, my brother back home. I doubt that we still have the Legos, but yeah, we have those too. Oh my God.
I had, and then I got the knights. So it was like knights and of the round table or something. So it was always like, yeah.
Wow.
But I was fine with that.
Yeah.
And then I
so
played
many
with
models.
them. Yeah, I didn't play with them as much as my brother did, though. Of course, then of course he ended up with like the Star Wars ones and ended up selling them, which now would have been worth a lot.
Oh, but, I bet. Yeah, remember we keep stepping on those damn Legos.
Oh my gosh,
girl, those things hurt like a mother.
Girl. Yes. You know they sell like special Lego slippers now.
Stop it right now. Oh my God.
Yeah, but you know, that's always if you wanted to get your parents to cuss, you knew. You just like throw out some Legos and see what happens.
You just throw some Legos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Children out there.
Oh, you said
please don't do that at home.
No, don't do that. Not on purpose. It should always be an accident.
Not on purpose.
Always be an accident.
Yeah, please, yeah. That's always an excuse. It was an accident.
Like, no.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right, let me just ask you like a big topic right now, my friend. We're getting a little serious right here.
All right.
How are you alone and the family? You first. How are you dealing with what's going on right now with this COVID? And
you know, I think it's just taking it day by day and not giving myself permission and space and grace to feel however I'm feeling.
Okay.
Because, you know, a lot of times I know I do. I can get a little over analytical and I'm like, oh yeah, why am I feeling like this? Oh, I feel like this because it's like, you know what? There's no rhyme or reason. I think the other piece is when I start feeling myself getting really angry or irritated or frustrated is that making sure that I'm not around like too much TV or the tension. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, I call the whole time where President Trump comes out and talks and I'm like yelling. It's like at first it's like, what the hell? Why are you people asking him any questions? He doesn't know anything. Mm-hmm. He just causes trouble. So why are you asking him? And so, you know, we're in there. That's with Andrea's dad and her like, yeah. And she's like, oh, he's a crook. And so, you know, we like to talk like about all this stuff. And it was like that in my house growing up. Just like talk about, oh yeah, this is good. This is bad. But then if you stay in that, it doesn't feel good. And it just saps you and it can get so depressing. And I get these text messages from the county, San Diego County, and it's like a death toll update. And I'm like, you know,
yeah,
I you know what, this is too much today. There's some days where like, okay, I just want to watch when there's the scientists there that have the facts.
Yeah.
And I just need to know, there's certain things that I know I need to know. So I'll listen. And then when it gets to a point where they're just talking to be talking, mm-hmm. or just talking about, oh, this could possibly happen. You know what? There is all kinds of shit that could possibly happen. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? Well, if we do this, you do this. Well, if so-and-so does this, it's like, you know what? You're talking just to be talking. This is your job, but my job is not to just listen to you. My job is to take care of me. So I'm not going to listen to this anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of day by day. And we've realized, you know, one way of kind of escaping that is for me is like movies and TV shows and little things like that, but just being aware when I'm doing it too much, or I think other, you know, it's just find myself really angry at times, and it just shines a light on, I think the other piece that makes me so angry right now is that a lot of the things that are being shown in the the impoverished communities and underserved and marginalized communities, this shit was here before. So like, you know what, it's like magnifying it and like, okay, now you need to do something needs to be done. And it pisses me off that so many people are like, oh yeah, well, we'll just go and do, like, no. So I let it out, but I don't let it consume me. You know, it's a long time ago.
Hard. That's hard for some people. It's so hard.
It is. It really is. And I think part of it has to do with, I've had times in my life where I was sick. I got sick because of just like being in such a negative space and having so much stress. And so I had to learn because it affected my body and being in like physical pain.
Yes.
Like, okay, you know what? I can't, when my dad was sick in the hospital and I got so tired that I couldn't even think. Like I couldn't think. There was like nothing going on in my head, which I knew now that my ex-husbands were not lying when they said that they were not thinking at all. Because it can happen. Yeah. Like I was so exhausted and drained that I couldn't even think. And it helped me see that you don't have to be thinking all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was a hard, you know, it was good. It was a hard way to do it. And
I bet.
It was an awful hard way to do it. And then also with just finding out that I had fibromyalgia and just how that affects like pain, and taking these mindfulness classes really helped me kind of like, hey, you know what? I don't need to, it's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling like this. Oh, this is going on. Okay. And kind of releasing the judgment. Cause I definitely my worst critic, like a lot. It's like, I didn't do enough. I could never do enough.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, or I know, you know, I had a therapist that said, don't shit on yourself and don't shit on other people. Man, it's like, oh yeah, well, I should have done this. I should have done this. I know better than that. And I did it anyway. And it's like, oh yeah, well, it's my own fault that I'm all stressed out because I was listening to Donald Trump for fucking long. You know?
Kid.
So, you know, for the most part though, one of the ways I watch the news is Trevor Noah, because he's hilarious and he's smart.
My God, yeah, he is funny.
Yeah, so it's just kind of staying in tune with myself. And then same thing with my family. You know, I'd say my son Sean is probably the least affected of us because he's a gamer that's always at the computer anyway and hardly leaves the house.
Yep.
You know, he is like, okay, where's he gonna go? I think today was probably the furthest he's gone anywhere when we went to the store. You know?
Wow. Yeah.
So the little one is harder because, you know, he knows what's going on. He's so cute. We were at the store. We stayed in the car when Andrea went in the store, and he's like, that person doesn't have a mask on.
Oh, cute.
And that person doesn't have a mask on. So they're going to get the coronavirus.
That is so cute.
I don't know. They may not get it. Hopefully not. But, you know, they got to protect themselves. He's like, I said, well, you know, and it's kind of a rule now that you have to wear a mask when you're out. And he's like, so are the police going to teach him a lesson?
That's freaking awesome. He should be the mask, the mask patrol.
I was like, you? Yeah. So that, and then just, you know, I think for my, for Andrea's dad, my eventual father-in-law, he, I think that this brings up a lot of memories of like being in wars. You know, the fact that the reality is, the sobering reality is that we're watching all these body bags on TV. You know, they're showing this stuff, and these are people and human beings and the humanity of it. And you think about our vets who experienced that, and this brings that up.
That's traumatizing.
It is. It's so traumatic. And, you know, I think about like with my dad, he never talked about Vietnam, never would talk about it. But now you think, now that it's here where there's so much death happening, that it really kind of, it's like, you know, think about our young men we send off to wars. This is what they have to deal with. We're having a really hard time right now comprehending the numbers of, he's like, you're talking about tens of thousands of people dying in one short period of time. And it's crazy, but imagine if you were seeing that on a regular basis, you know, and we talk about mental health care, but you know, there's only so many people.
Please do, my friend. Oh my God. It is not a topic, a comfortable topic in Filipinos. Hate me.
Black community either. I think it's people of color in general, like in the Black community, like, you know what, you don't be talking to anybody outside your house. What's wrong with you?
Girl, yeah. Just because, but I love it. I have to thank my ex-girlfriend for getting me into therapy. Process things that I can't process on my own.
Yep.
That's just my explanation about it.
No, I actually, one of the best things my dad and my stepmom did is when my mom died, I was 15. It was a month before she died the day after Christmas. And so the day I was about to turn 16 that following month. And the best thing that my parents did,
Go ahead, my friend.
The best thing my parents did was put me in therapy. So when I was 15, my mom passed away. She had MS. And she died the day after Christmas. I was in the 10th grade. And so they were really worried about me because I got really quiet, and that's not like me. And so like, even when we went back to school, I didn't even tell anybody. Like, it's my friends. Once I finally told them, they were like, what the hell? Why didn't you say anything? I'm like, well, what do you bring up in a conversation? Oh, how was your Christmas? Oh, I got a new purse. Oh, my mom died. You know, I just didn't fit right. So my parents,
you were so strong, my friend.
I think it was just, you know, it was more of just not knowing how to get it out. You know, it's like I didn't know how the words like figure out like, okay, when is a good time? When is timing? You know, there's some people, you know, there's people that can say anything. I totally envy them. Sometimes it's probably not in their best interest to just say anything, but you know, you piss a lot of people off and run people over, but at the same time, I'm one of those people, I think, and I'm trying to figure out the right way to get it out, and the moment passes. And so I think there's just so much there that it would have been helpful if my parents had called and said, hey, guess what? This is what happened over the break. If they did, nobody ever talked to me about it. So I just so they ended up putting me in therapy, which was the best thing that ever happened to me, because, you know, I had a lot of experiences, you know.
Thank you.
It was bad because, you know what, I remember that therapist cried. She actually had a tear. I was like, wow. Like, well, somebody actually was listening to me. I didn't feel like I was being heard, and I had gone through some really, really tough situations. It's a whole other time to talk about that nobody really knew about. And it just, you know, my parents, I'll tell my stepmom now, I was like, that was the best thing. She was like, man, I was always getting calls that you didn't show up. I was like, really?
Oh, yeah.
But then, you know what, I've kept going. And I think that that's part of what's made, like you're saying that, you know, it's hard to tell if I'm stressed. I think part of it is helping me giving that introspection and just kind of like, okay, that self-awareness and developing that. It really helped me with that, because otherwise you blame yourself for all kinds of crazy shit that's not your fault.
Thank you. Yeah. And piece of advice, and you know, this is for everybody. We're not expert. Disclaimer. We're not experts here. We're not experts here. This is precisely based on our experience. But one thing that I can advise to people out there who's interested or who just have a question about therapy, do not go on therapy if you're not willing to listen.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep.
Because, you know, some people out there are so guarded, and I get that. You guys been through so much shit that you don't want to be told what you need to do. The therapist is there just to help you process. It's really up to you if you want to do the actions or the assignments. It's really up to you. But for me, do not go into it if you don't have an open mind, and if you're just gonna waste you guys' time.
So was there something that like pushed you, you're like, okay, finally I need to go to therapy, or did you just kind of like, oh, I've been trying to go, or what made you go into therapy?
My ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
if I can say her name, I would. But
say that. That's right. You did say that.
Yeah. My ex-girlfriend. She was the reason why I went to the center. So I really have to thank her. But yeah, someday for
Yeah.
Civil again. But I know she's already have a family of her own.
Yeah.
She was the one who introduced me to therapy and all that. At
Mm-hmm.
first, of course, the Filipino in me was like, "The fuck did you just tell me go in therapy, girl?" I did not have it. But my
it's
first,
like you're like there's something defective about you.
Yes,
that, yeah.
Thank you. I remember my very first session. Shout out to my therapist back in San Diego. It was the scariest moment of my life. It's like going in an interview, but times 20 scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I cried the first session. I think I literally just cried for 30 minutes because I didn't know what to say too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great though that she allowed that space where you could feel safe to do it.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the other thing is that so many of us are taught, it's like, okay, well, you don't cry in front of people. It's like, I had a thing at work. So literally I had like, there was like a period of like 5 years where like every year some crazy shit was happening. So like my dad died. Then the next year, like I had surgery on my leg and I ended up being in a walking boot and got triggered all this pain and found out I had fibromyalgia.
You had a surgery?
It was like very minor, very minor. But so then like I had the following year, I was having all kinds of trouble with Sean in high school. And we weren't even sure if he was even going to graduate. And then his senior year is when my second husband just decided in one day to leave. And it was just all this stuff. And so I had someone at work tell me that, oh, nobody wants to talk to you because they're afraid you're going to cry. They don't want to give you criticism because they're afraid you're going to cry. And I thought, what?
No, they did not.
And I was like, what the hell? And there's certain times you get a little bit more emotional. And I realized like, I definitely been a little bit more tender, but I would say having those huge things happen to you might be a little bit more tender. And so it's just that other people's discomfort with tears can impact your ability to express who you are. I spent so much time then all of a sudden like, okay, don't cry. There's some people don't cry in front of that person because they're gonna talk shit about you, or they're just gonna make you feel bad, or they're just gonna ignore you, And so I had so many years of having all these tears that I ended up sucking up because nobody wanted to hear them. And finally it was like, you know what? It's okay. It is okay. Life is hard. It was really hard. And I used to tell my best friend, I was like, gosh, I wish I didn't know all this stuff because why can't I just be an alcoholic? It's just like, what? It's like, can't I just like drink all my troubles away? But no, I have to have this brain that thinks about it. And like, that's not going to solve my problems. Yeah. And it just is, there's so many, but trust me, I'm not an alcoholic. I got my issues. But
don't we all?
Exactly. And that's the point, is that nobody is perfect. And we all, and sometimes you need to have a neutral person to talk to. I have friends that I'll talk to that I know if I need a cheerleader, I know I go to that person. Yeah, I know somebody that if I need somebody to just listen, I go to that person. I very rarely do I just usually need somebody to listen. I don't want people giving me advice.
Yes.
So, but you know what? I know that, it used to be, I could count on at least once a month. I could go somewhere and talk about these things and then make sense out of it for myself. You start like, oh, wait a minute. Or have you ever like said something out loud? You're like, well, that's just ridiculous. Why would I think that?
That's exactly why I'm doing this podcast, my friend. Because I'm pretty sure I'll have you one of these days again.
Of course.
Recap all what we talk about. I'm like, did we really say that?
Like what? What?
Or, yeah. Special shout out to my ex-girlfriend who got me into it. But yeah.
Got you to therapy?
Yeah. Who got me into therapy.
Exes can do catalysts for change. My second ex-husband got me to the center where now I have all of my friends.
See, yeah. That too. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you
for
to
leaving
her.
Me.
Exactly. Yeah. No, thank you for that. Every relationship really, like, we don't understand this before when we were younger. Every relationship really, it's either a lesson or pretty much a lesson actually. all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one thing, my friend, that I really want to ask you is, do you know how much I appreciate your Monday motivations? I watch them all the time. I do. I actually do. But sometimes I just forget to comment or like it, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, I just love hearing that.
Yeah, I do. But where, my friend, do you get the energy for doing that? Let's just be honest in here.
Honestly, some days I don't, and I haven't done it because I was like too tired. But then, Andrea motivates me a lot because she's like, I love listening to your so like, even I was like, you have me in the house, but she'll leave the room and then watch it later.
Oh, really? How cute.
Yes, but and I've had other people say, I really like. It's like, okay. I started off doing it just so that I could get comfortable hearing my own voice because I hate hearing it recorded.
Oh my God, and you're telling me.
And I was like, okay. And I'm really good. I love doing trainings and presentations. And so I'm really good when I have stuff organized. But when you're just speaking off the cuff, I get a little bit, I'm not as confident. So I started doing it like that. But then also wanting to call attention to just being aware and being present, how simple it can be. And so as far as having the energy, I think because it's something that I have to do and it's something that needs to be done, I can share it with others. And if it will help just one other person, my growing up, and I don't think they explicitly said this, but growing up with my dad, my stepmom, with my parents, anything that you do should have some type of social capital. So I know so many things, but it doesn't mean anything if I don't share it. And so, it's like, if I don't share it, then it's just mine and I don't grow from it. But if I share it with others, I can learn more from those other people. And so just what mindfulness and meditation and really just mindfulness has brought to my life, and doing it very simply, wanting to be able to make sure I do it. So I think just because that same calling of like when you're working and you're so exhausted, you've done like a 12-hour shift or something like that. And it's like, what keeps you going is knowing that I'm making a difference. And the other piece is like, you know what? A mindful Monday, a mindful moment can just be a moment. And it doesn't have to be a 5-hour talk. I think my shortest one was probably like 45. It was like maybe a minute.
Really?
Because it's like, you know what? I can do 1 minute. I can spare 1 minute.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, my friend. I really admire you for that, because not everybody can do that. But but yours, my friend, just know that is truly appreciated all the way here in Los Angeles. Okay.
Aw, thank you. It's like, it is totally unscripted. Totally It's like,
that is totally unscripted.
Life unscripted.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I don't want to take so much of your time, my friend, but I really appreciate you. Yeah. We're going to have to do this again. This is so much fun. You being my
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, so Toya is like very raw. But 2 messages out there, my friend. First message is for, and like I said, we'll do a part 2 for everybody out there, LGBT friends or especially teenagers who's going through life right now with COVID or whatever they're going through right now. So go for it.
That everybody else is struggling just like you are. It may not seem it. That person that seems like they're not stressed or that they have it all or they know exactly what they want, they don't. They're just trying to make it just like everybody else is. And we're more alike than you ever think you could be. And you're never alone. Never. You may feel alone.
Never.
I know I've had the depths of despair and felt so alone, but there are people out there that will love you and care about you just for being who you are. And you don't have to change. Yeah.
That's pretty strong. But yeah, that's that saying that you're never alone. That's so true. There are moments that we think that, oh, I'm dealing this by myself, but which you are. The end of the day, you'll make decisions for yourself. But like you said, everybody have their own fights, their battles. We have our own battles. That's so true.
Yes. Nobody's is worse. Nobody is worse or better or I think the other piece is you may feel alone. That aloneness is not permanent. You may be alone right now.
Thank you. Yeah. Will never come easy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep. And then my last question, my friend, for my next guest, and I'm pretty sure you'll probably have an idea who will be my next guest. On my majority of my list, actually, people that you know. Yeah. So do you have
peeps.
Yeah, that's right. From the center, San Diego LGBT Center. Check it out. It's a good resource in San Diego.
It's amazing.
Yeah, God, I'm so thankful for that place. That's how I met you guys. I'm just so blessed that how I met you guys. But yeah, do you have any random question for the next person?
It's so funny. So I have the most random thoughts coming through all of the time.
Please.
And so, okay, so today is our day that we kind of clean the house. And one thing I was wondering when I was cleaning the bathroom, do other people have to clean the bathroom even more now that we're all at home?
I love it. I love it. Okay, yeah, we'll see.
You have to clean the toilet more often, less often, or just about the same. Or I have to. Or to the other people though, sometimes you really should do it, but you don't.
Oh yeah.
So I really should clean that, but no, it's not Sunday, so I'm not going to do it. So should you be cleaning a little bit more, or do you think it's okay?
Very interesting.
Told you. You said random.
No, I freaking love it, my friend. I freaking love it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Rissy, you made me thinking too. I have to answer that next week. How often do I clean my bathroom nowadays? No.
Somebody said, I've never been a big germaphobe, but there's other people I know who are germs. She's like, this is so good. I've always wanted to spray people down with Lysol. And now I can.
But okay, thank you so much, my friend.
You're
you have no
welcome.
idea.
Thank you for having me. I
appreciate you
being part of my circle. I love you, my friend. I love you, girl. You are.
Yeah,
you are definitely
love you back, my friend.
Woo.
Yeah,
virtual
for
hugs.
Sure. Well, thank you again. Say hi to Andrea and the fam. I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully soon.
Yes, and we'll have our dance.
Heck yeah. Class. Yeah, I mentioned it to the girls, but we have to do our private Zoom. Anybody who wants to join.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dance party.
Yep, that'll be fun. All right, my friend. I'll message you in a bit.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Love ya.
Love you back. Bye.
Bye.